Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Pitstick at soulproof.com. We're talking about the topic of unforgivable sin. Is there such a thing? Well, let's look at the original Aramaic. The meaning of the word sin was to miss the mark, kind of like an archer. So it wasn't some horrible thing you do forever that puts you in the frying pan of hell forever. It was you missed the mark. And what is the correct behavior after you realize you sin? You repent, which means you truly are sorry and you make amends. You do better next time. Simple as that. You know, just the way we treat our children, and that's the way things work through eternity. So this idea of unforgivable sin, or one that lands you in hell forever, it was just made up. It was made up by powerful people who could make a lot of money and who could control people by this. I remember when I was a youngster sitting in church and the word unforgivable sin would come up, and I was just sitting there thinking, what could it be? And it's like a projective test, like a Rorschach. People think whatever it is they're doing, that has to be it. So, in the teenage years, oh my God, what if it's masturbation? So some churches, if you dance, if you drink, if you wear your skirts too short, if you're gay, you're lesbian, whatever, if you're divorced, if you commit suicide, all these different things, if you murder somebody, well, you know what it turns out? None of them. Eternity is forever. We're all part of God. God is more forgiving than we can understand, and we're each part of God. It's not like God's some big man up in the sky somewhere. So there's no unforgivable sin, so you can let that one go. Think about some common sense. So those of you who are parents, at least good parents, what would your child have to do so that you would never be able to forgive them? Nothing. At least over time, you love them. You really love them, you're going to forgive them. You're going to work with them. Now, they may have to apologize, they may have to make amends, but that's a good child. So just think, what about our earthly mother? Or more accurately, the ground of all being, the divine energy that creates and sustains all, of which we're each a part. So, again, whenever we personify God, we distort things. So let's stay away from the big, wrathful, vengeful, judgmental guy in the sky, and we can get away from this unforgivable sin. It's a mishmash of teaching that's confused a lot of people. Now, some are concerned, well, but if there's no unforgivable sin, won't that give people license to rape and pillage? Well, that's thinking that at our inner core we're horrible beings, and so we have to be controlled and scared to behave right. But in fact, it's just the opposite. When we know our true nature as beings of light and love, then we're going to act best. When we know better, we do better. I remember when I was young, I misbehaved, and Mom said, wait till your dad gets home. And I thought, oh boy, he's going to give me a spanking. But what he did was he sat down and he said, Mark, I know you can do better than this. I'm so proud of you most of the time, but not about this one. And I know you're going to do better. Well, I was brought to tears. I felt ashamed and so on. And from then on, I was motivated to not have to have that talk again, not hear that tone in his voice, and not see that look in his eyes. Well, it's the same way with us. When we treat each other as we are, high souls, people are going to respond that way and live that way. So unforgivable sin, no, just some more BS. And it's time for us to drop that so the human race can evolve to our high state and enjoy a heaven on earth. So thanks for sharing this with others. Be sure to visit the website soulproof.com.